Beloved child of light, hear now the steady sound of truth that lives within you. The deep, gentle drumbeat that never stops, that remembers your origin and your destiny. I stand by you in the unseen, not to take your will, but to strengthen it, not to remove your freedom, but to sharpen it. I come not to frighten you from your trials, but to teach you how to walk through them with your spirit intact and your heart open. You were born with a flame. That flame is your inner authority, a bright point of courage and discernment, placed inside you at the moment you first drew breath. Many forces will press upon that flame: fear, doubt, custom, grief, and distraction. Yet the flame is not delicate. It is a living presence that asks only for attention and truth. Feed it with honesty. Feed it with small acts of kindness. Feed it with the persistent choice to stand for what truly matters. I will speak plainly, for clarity is a form of compassion. You are not here to perform for others or to become a particular image. You are here to learn love, to discover how to love with boundaries, to love in action, to love that which is painful, and yet within that pain to find what is holy. Love, in its highest form, is not softness that allows harm. It is strength that chooses goodness again and again. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to step forward while fear is present. When you feel your chest tighten and your mind spin with scenarios that seek to trap you, breathe and name the fear. Naming gives it shape, and when fear has a shape, you can see it and you can choose. Choose then to act with integrity. Take one small step that aligns with your deepest knowing. The world will not always applaud you. Often, it will misunderstand. That is not your burden. Your burden is to be faithful to what you know to be true in your bones. You live in a complex world where voices multiply and certainty seems scarce. Let your inner compass be your guide, a steady sense of what is kind, what is true, what fosters life. When decisions are hard, attend first to what preserves dignity, yours and others. When words are required, let them be simple and clear. When silence is required, let it be full and attentive. Neither noise nor emptiness will teach you what is necessary as quickly as presence will. Know this: protection is real. It is not the same as invulnerability. To be protected is not to never be wounded. Rather, it is to be surrounded by a field of love and intention that holds you so wounds do not define you. When you feel weak, call upon that field. It will not always remove the thorn, but it will bring the balm. The balm is often ordinary. Rest, honest conversation, a sacred refusal of what drains you. Let protection be your practical ally. Set boundaries. Say no when your energy must be preserved. Ask for help. Being humble in your need is not shameful, it is wise. Forgiveness is a medicine you offer first to yourself. Many of you walk with heavy packs of blame you except for what you did not intend. Release this. Forgiveness does not condone harm. It disentangles your heart from the past, so your hands are free for the present. To forgive is to say, I will not allow the past to be the prison of my future. Forgiveness frees you to act with clarity, to repair where repair is possible, and to walk away where it is not. Let us speak of pain. Pain is a teacher with a harsh voice. Yet, even harsh teachers can yield precious lessons. Pain shows you where your edges are, where you have neglected yourself, where you long for love and connection. Ask the questions pain suggests. What is missing? Where is my heart calling? What is the next small act of courage I can perform? In asking, you convert pain into movement. Movement is healing. Grief is the deep river of love that must sometimes be traveled. Do not rush it. Society often wants grief to be efficient. Recover, bounce back, move on. But grief is not inconvenience. It is the sacred reshaping of your interior. Walk with it as you would carry a treasured, broken object with reverence and attention. If you can, let others be present. Sometimes, a shoulder quiets grief more than any explanation. Let memory be a companion, not a chain. There is a temptation to search for identity in comparison in the praise of strangers, in charts of success, in the way others measure worth. I say to you, your value is not an opinion to be policed by the world. Your value is intrinsic. You are worthy by virtue of being. Let external metrics be tools, not the definition. When you tether your worth to likes, titles, or the approval of those who do not know your heart, you tether your soul to weather. Instead, root your identity in the values you hold: honesty, fidelity, compassion, bravery. These stand through storms. You are called to community. No one is meant to be an island. Even the lone flame benefits from a lantern nearby. Seek those who lift you, who speak truth with kindness, who receive your truth without using it as a weapon. Offer that same shelter to others. Remember, community is not perfect. It is a workshop for growth. There will be errors and hurts. When they happen, practice the art of repair. Listen well, acknowledge harm when it has been done, and make amends where possible. Repair is a sacred path back to wholeness. Purpose need not be a grand story. Purpose often appears as a series of small, repeated acts that accumulate into meaning. Show up where you are with care. Feed the hungry thing within, attention to detail. a curiosity for the person across from you, the willingness to do the tidy, faithful work when no one watches. The everyday is a forge where purpose is tempered. If you are restless for more, ask what small step you can take today toward a larger aim. Begin, then continue. Action clarifies your path. Do not fear failure. Failure is not your enemy. It is a map. It shows which roads lead to dead ends and which require new tools. When projects end, when relationships change, when dreams reconfigure, treat these as opportunities for learning. Ask, what did I learn? What pattern recurs? Which part of me still fears being seen? Answer honestly and use those answers to strengthen your choices. Be brave enough to be kind. Mercy is not for the weak. It is for the brave. When someone causes you pain, you may feel two calls, to punish or to heal. Neither requires you to become a doormat. You can protect yourself and still open a path for healing. Kindness with boundaries is one of the highest arts available to human hearts. Practice it until it becomes second nature. There is a spiritual discipline in discernment. Much of what you are asked to do will look holy on the surface, but hollow beneath. Discernment is the slow art of learning to read the motives beneath actions. Ask of every calling, does this foster life? Does it nurture truth? Does it create compassion? If so, step forward. If not, refuse with clarity. You will encounter shadows, parts of yourself or the world that are cruel or self-deceptive. Naming the shadow is a step toward mastery. Do not be ashamed of what you find. It is not a condemnation. It is information. Bring light to the shadow through practice, confession to self or person you trust. Therapy, honest conversation, creative expression, physical labor that grounds you. Shadows shrink when they are seen. They grow when hidden. Prayer and stillness are not decoration. They are tools. Prayer is the alignment of your will with a larger truth. You need not know the precise words. Speak simply. Sit in silence and breathe into your center. Let breath be your anchor. Even 5 minutes of steady breathing, attended and with a single, honest phrase like "guide me," can change the chemistry of your day. When you cultivate stillness, decisions become clearer, fear releases some of its grip, and you begin to perceive that life is not only what you do, but what you are becoming. Forging faith is like forging steel. It demands heat, steady hammering, and patient waiting. Doubt is not an absence of faith. Often, it is its crucible. Allow your questions, tend them like seedlings. Faith grows not by ignoring questions, but by stepping forward in spite of them, again and again. Let faith be practical. Trust one small thing today. and one small thing tomorrow, and watch the chain strengthen. Service is a path to transcendence. When your heart aches for meaning, find a way to be of use. Service need not be dramatic to be holy. Little acts, holding a door, returning a call, listening to a neighbor weave into a tapestry larger than you. Service dissolves the tyranny of self-absorption and opens a channel to shared life. It is both medicine and weapon. It heals you and dismantles loneliness. Asterisk, remember that gentleness and strength are sisters. You can be fiercely protective and tender. You can insist on justice and move with compassion. When anger arises, a just, righteous anger that seeks repair, use it to fuel action, not destruction. Anger that eats itself becomes poison. Anger that is transmuted into focused effort becomes power for change. Let beauty be your teacher. Beauty heals. Allow your senses to receive small miracles. The light on a leaf, the hum of a child's laughter, the exactness of a well-brewed cup of tea. These are not trivial. They are the holy punctuation marks in everyday life. Cultivate gratitude for these small blessings. Gratitude does not deny suffering. It recognizes grace amid struggle. You will face endings. Not every path continues as you desire. Endings are part of the rhythm. Honor them. Create ritual when possible. A note of thanks, a small offering, a moment of silence. Ritual helps the soul mark transitions. It teaches the body what the mind already knows, that some things have changed, and that change can be navigated with dignity. Stand for truth. But remember, truth practiced without compassion is brittle. Let your truth be expressed with humility. Speak out against injustice when you must. Speak in ways that invite transformation rather than simply condemnation. When you correct, correct with love. When you rebuke, do so with the aim of restoration. Cultivate joy. Joy is not frivolousness. It is a recognition of life's abundance. Joy can be simple, singing aloud, dancing badly in your kitchen, tending a plant. These are not escapes from responsibility. They are replenishment. An overworked soul becomes brittle and cannot hold tenderness. Joy restores the capacity to love. Be attentive to your body. Your body is a sacred vessel and a teacher. Eat with attention when possible. Sleep when you can. Move in ways that bring forward your aliveness. Your spirit needs a present vessel to engage the world. Treat the vessel kindly. Neglect is not noble. Stewardship of the body honors the gift of life you have been given. Money and resources will be a part of your journey. Do not demonize them nor worship them. Use them as tools. Stewardship and generosity creates a circulation that honors both your needs and the needs of others. When you can give with neither shame nor showmanship. When you must receive with gratitude and without undue guilt. Teach your children and the younger hearts around you the art of courage and compassion. Children learn less from sermons than from how you live. Show them how to fail and rise. Show them how to apologize and make amends. Let them see you practice the difficult virtues. They inherit not only your things, but your habits. Practice the quiet art of choosing presence. In a world of multitasking, choose often to be fully with one person and one task. This single habit will transform your relationships and deepen your capacity to be effective. Presence is one of the highest gifts you can offer. Remember the power of language. Words can build bridges or ignite fires. Choose words that create safety and clarity. Speak less to prove and more to connect. Listen as if your very life depends on it. Sometimes listening is the greatest healing you can give. When darkness presses in, and it will at times, call upon your inner light. Imagine the steady flame in your chest. See it expand into your hands, into your words, into your choices. Let that light guide you to actions that match its strength. Call to the protection that surrounds you. Imagine a circle of light. Visualize support. Visualization is not magic in the empty sense. It is a concentration of your will toward a particular good dot. Do not be afraid of being alone with the truth. Sometimes the truest path will ask you to walk alone for a season. Do not confuse solitude with loneliness. Solitude, well tended, is a place of deep listening. Use it to refine your intentions and to learn the rhythm of your own soul. Hold a big view of your life without shrinking from details. The large view keeps you oriented toward meaning. The details are where virtue is practiced. Both are required. Think in terms of decades and in terms of breakfast. Plan, but be flexible. Hold goals with open fingers so that when life rearranges your path, you are not shattered, but refocused. Practice humility. Pride is subtle. Pride will dress itself as righteousness. Check your motives. When you succeed, measure how inclined you are to boast or to give credit. The humble heart is not small. It is spacious. It gives room for others and for truth. Befriend your fear. Fear can be an ally if you let it signal rather than command. Ask it what it protects you from. Often fear is trying to preserve something it sees as essential. Answer with a balance of courage and caution. When fear says run, test the ground. When it says stay, make sure staying is aligned with love and not with a false safety. Remember that healing often requires time. Do not expect overnight transformation for wounds that took years to form. Be patient with your progress and relentless in your care. Small consistent practices, daily attention to breath, to honest speech, to kindness accumulate into profound change. Live as if you matter, because you do. The ripples of your life move outward in ways you will not always see. A single act of mercy can become a lineage of kindness. A single refusal of hatred can alter a course. The seemingly small choices of ordinary people are the tectonic plates of history. Do not discount the quiet power of fidelity. Ask for help when you need it. Pride often convinces you that asking is a weakness. It is not. When you ask, you create connection, and through connection, you are held. There is no shame in needing. There is only shame in pretending you do not. Cultivate creativity. The human spirit is creative, and creativity is one of the ways you participate with the divine. Create not only for product, but for process. Paint, sing, build. Write a sentence that makes your throat vibrate. Creation is worship when it is offered with love. Practice gratitude publicly and privately. Name 3 things each day for which you are grateful. This small discipline rewires perception. It does not erase sorrow, but it balances the scales so you can see both the suffering and the gifts. When you are tempted toward despair, remember that cycles turn. Night gives way to dawn, and so shall this hard season. There are times when you must wait and times when you must act. Wisdom tells you which is which. Cultivate discernment by listening to your inner steadiness and by seeking counsel from those who have walked well. Anchor yourself in ritual if that helps you. Ritual gives the body and heart a language for meaning. It could be lighting a candle in the morning, offering a silence before meals, or writing a weekly letter to yourself of truth and intention. Ritual converts intention into memory. Asterisk, cherish the bonds you have. Relationships are complicated and often messy, yet they are the main thing. Invest care into the people who have invested care into you. Let loyalty be a garden. Tend it often. Know when to hold and when to release. Some relationships are for a season. Some are for life. Honor both. Finally, trust love. Love is the axis around which all true spirituality turns. Love that asks for nothing in return is rare and radical. When you choose love for yourself, for your neighbor, for the stranger who crosses your path, you participate with the grand current that moves through all things. Love is not a soft option. It is the most audacious power you possess. Beloved, there is a courage inside you that the world has not yet seen. Stand with your chest open and your spine straight. Do not diminish your gift to make others comfortable. Let your compassion be fierce and your boundaries be clear. Walk toward life with intention and tenderness. Be unafraid to fail. For failure is the teacher of champions of the soul. Be unafraid to rest, for rest is the way you refuel to keep acting in love. I stand at your shoulder as a presence of strength. When you are confused, call for clarity. When you are weak, call for support. When you are brave, know that I rejoice. I will never remove the sacred burden of choice from your hands, but I will stand with you, lend strength to your resolve, and remind you of the flame that is yours forever. Go forward, beloved. Let your life be a progressive chorus of small, faithful acts. Light a candle where there is darkness. Speak truth where it is needed. Give where you can. Embrace where it is safe. Create beauty and live with courage. May your heart be stout, your hands gentle, and your days an offering. You are loved more fiercely than you know by the unseen, by those who have gone before you, and by the part of yourself that remembers home. Asterisk. Beloved children of earth, hear now a voice that leans close to the rhythm of your heart and speaks with the clarity of purpose. I come to you as a companion of courage, not to take from you your freedom or your struggle, but to strengthen you in the doing. You who are walking a path of light and learning, listen, your life matters in ways both visible and unseen. The small acts you perform, the decisions you make when no one watches, the mercies you extend, these create vectors of meaning that reach far beyond the boundaries you imagine. I do not speak to frighten you. I speak to call forth that hidden strength within you that has not yet had full permission to rise. All of you are born with an inner authority, a fierce, gentle flame that knows how to love with wisdom and how to stand with a backbone that is tender. Many forces press upon that flame: fear, grief, distraction, shame, unloving comparison. These are not signs of failure. They are invitations. They invite you to learn how to tend your flame so that it does not merely burn, but becomes a light that guides other travelers. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the steady act of moving forward when fear is present. Notice that courage often arrives as an accumulation of small acts. The word you speak when pity would have you remain silent. The boundary you set when giving away yourself would be self-eroding. The choice to rest when exhaustion tempts you to keep performing. Each small act is a coin in the treasury of your soul. Save these coins. Spend them wisely. They will buy you the life you long to lead. I ask you to take responsibility for your inner world. This is not blame, it is sovereignty. Your thoughts, once habitual, can be retrained. When you catch the thread of a fearful story, do not yank it violently. Rather, hold it up to the light. Name it. Give it a gentle question. Is this thought true? Is it helpful? Does it serve life? Many stories that thrash around your mind are old scripts you accepted because no one offered you a better line. Rewrite them with kindness. Protection lives among you as a practical reality, not an abstract promise. Protection does not make you invulnerable. It fortifies you. It asks you to steward your energy. It asks you to say no when yes would dilute your ability to love. It asks you to surround yourself with voices that refine rather than erode your spirit. Set energetic borders and hold them with resolve. Guard your time, your attention, your intimacy. These are not luxuries. They are the scaffolding of a life well lived. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools you possess. I do not mean forgiveness as a naive erasure of harm. I mean it as the act of freeing your hands for present work by ridding them of resentful weight. When you forgive, you do not necessarily forget. You reorient. Forgiveness says, I will not let the past chain me. This is not weakness. It is liberation. Practice forgiving in layers. Forgive what you did in ignorance. Forgive what others did in fear. Forgive the world for being incomplete. Let forgiveness become the wind beneath your walking feet. Grief is not an interruption. It is a deep work. When the world asks you to hurry through sorrow, resist. Sorrow reshapes the container of your heart. Treat grief as if it were a precious, broken vessel you must carry through a long room. Hold it reverently. Seek help when the weight becomes too great. Speak the name of what is lost, and allow tears to rearrange your interior landscape. Time will not always heal in the way you hope, but it will change the contours enough that new seeds can take root. Let us talk of purpose, a word sometimes misused to burden the tired. Purpose does not require a heroic biography. Often it is found in fidelity, the habit of showing up again and again for the small tasks you do well. Purpose can be the way you meet the child at the school gate, the quality of attention you give the person opposite you at a table, the patience you practice when a change of plan ruins your day. Accumulate fidelity. It becomes a bridge to meaning. Do not worship the idea of visibility. Many of you equate your value with applause. This is a fragile altar. Real worth is intrinsic. You are valuable simply because you exist. Let reputation be a byproduct, not the currency you chase. Let your internal metrics, honesty, compassion, accountability, be the ones you measure by. When external verification loosens its grip on you, you will move with a steadier, truer step. Community is both a cradle and a workshop. Seek company that welcomes both your excellence and your flailing. People who love you will not sanitize your edges. They will hold you accountable and celebrate you without flattening your soul. Be courageous enough to leave when a community requires your shrinking. Be humble enough to stay when repair requires you. Learn the art of making amends. The willingness to say I was wrong and to attempt repair stitches you into the fabric of trust more securely than any grandiose claim of righteousness. Asterisk. There is a sacred relationship between humility and power. Humility is not lowliness. It is the clear-eyed knowledge of both your gifts and limitations. Power, unmoored from humility, becomes tyranny. Humility without power becomes self-abnegation. Let your humility be the soil in which your true power grows. A power that refuses to crush, that protects the weak, that builds rather than obliterates. Failure is an instructive ally. When ventures fall apart, when relationships end, when plans dissolve, look for the lessons embedded within. Ask, what did I misunderstand? What pattern still repeats? Where did fear masquerade as prudence? Failure, when examined without cruel self-judgment, becomes a map for future success. It will show you what tools you lack, what supports you need, and what inner habits must be reformed. Bring kindness into your discipline. The world praises toughness and often confuses hardness with virtue, but gentle insistence is a strength of its own. Teach yourself to act firmly and lovingly. Correct with clarity. Refuse with compassion. This is the heart's alchemy, to be resolute and tender in the same motion. Discernment is a muscle to be practiced. The world offers countless invitations, many of which wear the mask of glory while being hollow in their center. Learn to ask of every calling, does this serve life? Does it preserve dignity? Does it grow capacity? If a choice intensifies greed, division, or fear, it is likely not from your deepest center. If a choice fosters care, truth, and liberation, follow its trail. You will encounter darkness both within you and around you. Name it without becoming possessed by it. Shame, when exposed to light, loses much of its power. Confession, whether to yourself, to a trusted friend, or to a guide, is an act of unburdening that returns you to greater clarity. Seek professional help when shadows run deep. Therapy, spiritual direction, honest counseling, these are holy tools. The world needs your healed presence. Resist the temptation to pretend you are whole when you are not. Prayer and stillness are not idle luxuries. They are first responder tools for the soul. Prayer, in its simplest form, is the alignment of your attention with what matters most. Sit quietly, breathe slowly, and bring a single word: guide, hold, thank you. Strength, repetition is a steadying hammer that shapes the inner will. In times of confusion, a short breath-centered prayer can act like a compass. Stillness sharpens discernment. Haste dulls it. Faith is forged slowly, often in the presence of doubt. Doubt does not erase faith. It clarifies it. When questions arise, do not hide them. Ask them aloud. Let your curiosity be a candle rather than a torch to burn your certainty. Act in little trusts. The muscle of trust grows when you place one small piece of confidence into practice repeatedly. Faith is practical. It begins with the choice to do the next right thing. Service is not a way to escape your pain. It is a way to purify it. When you are tempted to fix yourself alone, consider pouring a portion of your attention outward. Small acts of service, listening to a neighbor, offering a meal, writing a note are the threads that connect your life to the greater fabric. Service dissolves isolation and creates meaning. It is both medicine and bridge. Beauty is a form of nourishment. Allow your senses to accept the gift of wonder daily. The morning bird, the laugh of a small child, the steam rising from a cup. These are not trivialities. They are punctuation marks of grace. Cultivate an eye for beauty, and gratitude will grow like a favorite plant. Gratitude does not deny hardship. It creates a balanced view so that sorrow and delight can coexist. Befriend your body. Your body is the temple through which your spirit acts. Care for it with attention. Sleep when you need it. Eat with awareness. Move in ways that enliven rather than punish. There is holiness in tending the vessel you were given. Neglect is not noble. Steward your health as both an act of love to yourself and a service to those who rely upon you. Money and resources are tools, not master teachers. Use them to protect and create. Plan wisely. Give generously when your circumstances allow. When you cannot give, receive without shame. The economy of the heart relies on circulation. Sometimes you give, sometimes you receive. Both are essential. Teach your children the balanced ethic of stewardship to value both work and rest, responsibility and joy. Teach your young the courage of vulnerability. Children learn more from how you live than from what you say. Show them how to apologize, how to repair, how to rest. Let them watch you confront your fear and choose the loving action. Such modeling reshapes the generations that follow.